Hi, this is Dale Young. I just wanted to share a quick thought about something that came to my mind recently as I was meditating about some things. And one of the phrases that I use quite a bit is if you could have all and I'm going to fill in the blanks here in just a minute, in the world, what would you do? And this is a good coaching question because it kind of gets the brain into the mode of, well, let's not worry about the constraints on our life. And so I want to share this thought with you. There's typically four things that I ask for that are constraints on your life. And so I'll start it out this way. It makes the acronym THEM, THEM, them. And so I'm just going to throw out them one by one and let you think about them. And the first one, I'm actually going to start on the bottom. Okay. And the bottom being that I want to start with the word money because money is one of those big constraints on people's lives, right? If you had all the money in the world, what would you do? If money were not an object, what would you do? Those are the kinds of questions that you ask first. And then probably for a lot of people, the next big one is time. What if you had all the time in the world? What if you had what would you do if you could manufacture time? That kind of thing, right? And then the third one here is health. Sometimes people have all the money and all the time. They don't have their health and they just don't feel very good. And then the fourth one is one that I think gets thrown out a lot, but I don't think it gets quite enough thought and quite enough credit, and that is energy. If you had all the time, health, energy, and money in the world, what could you do? And it could always be good things. Now, this is not the most insightful thing in my mind. I've been using this acronym for years when I ask people, when I coach people. But for me, something that as I was meditating over this the other day, that got my attention. Okay. How do you measure these things? Okay. How do you measure stuff? Well, money is pretty easy to measure, right? You look at your balances in your bank account and in all your credit cards and in all your investments, and you either have money or you don't have money, and you have a an amount of money that you have. Is that amount of money enough for you to do what you want to do? That's really where the question comes in, right? How do you get more money? How do you manufacture, so to speak? How do you make the right kinds of decisions, the right kind of deals that lead you to more money? Then the next question then is how do you measure time? Okay. And time, once again, everyone gets 24 hours in a day, so you can't make more time, right? But you can use your time more effectively and more efficiently. Are you using your time on the right ways and the right forms? How do you audit your time? Well, you audit your time by looking at your calendar, right? And you look at your daily schedule and your daily setups and things like that. It's really amazing when you ask people when they first start thinking about this, how much time do you spend on social media? How much time do you spend watching TV? How much time do you spend commuting? And lots of people don't really have a good answer for that until you have them do a time audit and help them understand where their time is going and how it's all disappearing on them. And then health. Well, okay, how do you measure health? Well, you can measure health in many ways, right? How do you feel? What's going on in your world? How often do you see the doctor? Is your blood pressure high? Are you having heart problems? All these things. How do you measure this heart? Maybe you do a blood test every so often. Maybe you do a annual physical. How is your health and how do you measure that? So, watching some of the measurements around your health can be very important. And here's the one that really caught me, energy. How do you measure energy? Now, I'm actually curious here. If you've got a really good way to measure energy, please let me know. I would love to know about it. But for me, measuring energy is all pretty subjective. Do I have more energy today than I had yesterday? Do I have less? Is there some reason for that? Is it that I've been going for a long, long time? Is it something around, I don't know, right, something around how long can I go? How do I feel when I go a long time? How do I recover? All of these questions around energy. And lots of times, the kind of the best thing that I've come up with is on a 1 to 10 scale. One meaning I have no energy. I'm kind of can't do anything. To 10 is I have all the energy that I've ever had type of thing. Kind of peak performance, prime of your life type thing. So how do you go about looking at your energy level throughout the day? Do you look at it 3 times a day? Do you look at it 5 times a day? Once a day? I know many people have never actually thought about where their energy level is, and most people don't until you don't have it. So I would just like to throw these out as thoughts that you can just kind of ruminate on and just get to the point of where do I go from here? What's the thing? So what I would encourage you to do is figure out what works for you to measure your energy, especially long term. How do you track it the way you track your calendar appointments in your bank account? Those are the kinds of things that I think can be very interesting and very insightful and very revealing about your life. So, if this has piqued your interest, of course, love if you'd share and comment on it. And if you have a question, please reach out to me. Thanks. Bye.